Wandai proposal to amend the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 and Election Act of 2011 are also aimed at curbing the spectacle of state officers accused of graft from assuming elective office. Alan Ochanda has caught up with the chairperson of the Leaders of Majority of the County Assembly's caucus, Victor Kareithi, and I want us to cross over to him. Ochanda, good morning. I'd like to hear the sentiments there on the suggestion by Opiyo Wandayi.
Well, Linda, good morning to you. Yes, indeed, the proposals by Ugunja Member of Parliament, Opiyo Wandayi, to actually just panel beat on the Leadership and Integrity Act of 2012 and also the Election Act of 2011, he says, is actually aimed at emboldening Chapter 6 of the Constitution, that actually speaks on integrity of state officials. And so he says that moving forward, they really need to put down really stringent measures to ensure they embolden that Chapter 6 that has always been overlooked in the electioneering period, and of course now really affects during the 5-year period after election and before election. And so we've got up with the chairperson of the Leaders of Majority in all the 47 county assemblies caucus. There is also the majority leader here in Meru County Assembly, Victor Kareithi, to just give us the feeling of the county assemblies. Of course, they may not have met, but maybe he's speaking on behalf of them, how they feel. If at all any other aspirant, of course, you may be an aspirant. Yes, you are holding office at the moment, but you are an aspirant in the next election, that is next year. And if you are formally charged and taken plea in a court of law on graft issues, then Opiyo Wandayi is actually proposing that you be barred from contesting for that position. Maybe your take from the county assembly's caucus.
So it is important to, to identify with the proposal from the onset, because what ails this country are issues to do with governance. We've seen leaders getting elected every election who are very, very, with the backgrounds of criminality, who've been charged in law, in courts of law, and actually even gotten to prison. And it is so clear that everything that is contained in Chapter 6 of our Constitution has never been implemented. So what we would desire to have is a scenario where all the organs that are charged with either the investigations, the courts of law, and everybody else who is supposed to oversee the implementation of this chapter and any other law that deals with the integrity of leadership is seen to be doing the real thing. Our main problem probably would be if we see any attempt to witch hunt any side of the political divide, whether they are supporters of the former prime minister, whether they are supporters of the current deputy president, or any other political leader. We need to see the organs that are charged with the responsibility of upholding the rule of law, doing it in a just way, in a fair manner, where nobody feels unnecessarily incriminated. That would be the biggest problem that we would face. But as it is, I'm in agreement, and I'm sure so many other leaders are in agreement of, of making sure that in the coming elections, we see a situation where leaders are barred from going to the ballot because of their criminal records. If somebody has been charged with murder, and there is some evidence that is leading towards that, we need to see such leaders stopped from getting to the ballot. If we've seen leaders involved in scandals in the past getting cleared by IEBC, we need to see that stopping. Otherwise, we'll continue singing the same song, because the moment we elect leaders who have very serious criminal records, it'll be a tall order to expect the same leaders to be in the forefront of fighting corruption in the country. And it is also very clear that the problems that we face as a country are stemmed at the many corruption cases that we have in this country. If somebody is corrupt, they will not fight corruption. They will encourage corruption so that they can have handouts to give in churches and many other places. And this is what we would want to have stopped.
Well, Mheshimiwa, maybe you, the elected leaders, be it the MCS, be it the members of parliament, have made it a habit that whenever such a proposal is actually made, you now fall back to your political affiliations and pull the victim card. Like, you remember when it was proposed that you, the MCA aspirants, must actually possess a degree from a recognized institution. You actually pull all the victim cards. Maybe moving forward, we've also seen that the agencies that you are saying that should actually tighten the nose on the corrupt leaders have also been emasculated. You can see that the laws have actually been watered down.
Let us not mix issues. When we were talking about the MCAs not necessarily having to have degree, that was a completely different issue. And anyway, we were airing our views. And I mean, we are not the law. We are not the ones who are supposed to implement the law. The IEBC has the ability to implement that. So it is upon them to listen to everybody and act impartially. They are the ones who are supposed to know that we're interested parties. The members of parliament are interested parties. Senators are, governors are, the presidential candidates are. So let us see a country which has professionals who can act without the influence of the political parties from their backyard. And it is about time when every tribe in this Republic of Kenya realized that even if they have a tribal king, even if they have a tribal leader in that area, that leader has no ability to solve their personal problems. And therefore, that is why we need to fall back on to the law and make sure that the law is implemented equally to the Luos, to the Kalenjins, to the Merus, to everybody across the board in an equal and fair manner.
Maybe one last one. You see, all these members of parliament, majority of them really belong to specific political parties. Then there is this habit of the political party leaders like the deputy president, the former prime minister, also now weighing into such weighty matters. And of course, having a say in the eventual deliberation. Because remember that when the issue of the degrees came up, we saw the deputy president actually saying that leadership is not pegged on the academic qualification. And so on such a discourse also, we expect that the political party leaders may actually come up and say that maybe the integrity issue is not pegged on your ability to lead, maybe on the part of the political party leaders. What do you say?
I would urge particularly the two leading presidential candidates, that is the former prime minister and the current deputy president, on matters integrity, on matters corruption. Let us see them deliberately coming forward to address themselves to these issues objectively and assuring Kenyans that they'll be on the forefront of fighting the vices that are related to corruption without trying to condemn, to look down upon the judiciary system, the DCI and the other organs, the EACC and the others who are charged with, making sure that we get to the bottom of such cases. So I would urge all of them to ensure that they don't fall back to their political, backyards and their political parties trying to get sympathy. Let us look at these issues objectively. And they should apply to not only the two presidential hopefuls, but everybody else across the board. And for the organs, let us for once see the real independent election commission. Let us see them behaving like they're independent. Let us see the judiciary system behaving like they are an independent arm of the government. They are not under the presidency. They are not under the parliament. Let us see these organs, the police officers. If you arrest somebody, arrest them not because they are from a certain party formation. Arrest them because they have done something that deserves the arrest.
Nice. Well, thank you, Mheshimiwa. Well, Linda, looking at this, that the proposal by Opiyo Wandayi, the MP for Ugunja, have already been okayed by the Speaker of the National Assembly, and so they will be headed to the JLAC. That's the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee of the National Assembly. Of course, this committee is quasi-judicial, and so its proposals may be adopted by the National Assembly or not. And so if they are adopted, then Kenyans should actually prepare not to see all the number of suspected leaders who are actually holding office at the moment, because such laws will actually bar them from holding office. And so for us, it's actually to sit and wait and see as to whether the proposal is actually be seeing the light of the day or not.
Yeah, it's one proposal that will draw lots of reactions. Let's wait and see. We are taking another break here on News Center. Stay with us. When we come back, we will be speaking to Omboko Milemba, KUPPET National Chair, on that refresher course that teachers are supposed to take. They're saying 6,000 shillings is a little bit on the higher side. They want the government to take care of that amount. We're taking that break now.